Dr. Brenda Green. I am the founder and executive director of the Center for Black Literature, director of the National Black Writers Conference, and professor of English at Medgar Evers College of the City University of New York. My story about the Center for Black Literature starts with the National Black Writers Conference. I had an opportunity to work with and meet the late John Oliver Killens, whose vision was to have a National Black Writers Conference every year. At that point, Elizabeth Nunez was a professor here at Medgar Evers College, so she directed the first conferences. John Oliver Killens had that conference in 1986. He brought all writers together. I was always amazed at how he'd be able to pick up the phone and call all the major writers for that first conference. Maya Angelou was the featured speaker, Gwendolyn Brooks, Margaret Walker, Susan Sanchez, and bring all of these people together. The late John Oliver Killens was someone who was a visionary and who believed in supporting Black writers and creating spaces for Black writers. So he was at the first conference in 1986. Then in 1987, unfortunately, he passed away. And so I took mentor and began to direct the conference and wanted to carry forth John Oliver Killens' vision to have a structure, a center that would be able to bring Black writers together every year.
Writing is a solitary artistic endeavor, as are many of the arts. And so a lot of times we creators are by ourselves. And so suddenly to be with large numbers of fellow artists, it's invigorating. And, especially when you're able to talk with people you haven't seen in a long time, you haven't been around in a long time. It's a fraternity and a sorority. It's just soul uplifting. And that's what the conference has always meant to me.
I remember the first conference I went to, and I was a baby writer. I just walked in there and there was Mais Condé, there was Gloria Naylor. And I think it's hard to underestimate the power of that, of being someone who's just getting started and to be in that space with the legends of your craft, people you've been reading, people you've been studying. So I think it's really a powerful example, and it's a powerful sense of building community and helping us, especially young writers coming up, to feel like we belong in this community.
Anything that helps to bring voices of Black writers to the world, to sustain a sort of platform where Black writers can be read and disseminated, is a gift to all of humanity. It's especially a gift to Black people because our stories are rarely told elsewhere, and they aren't told with the complexity that Black writers share them and tell them, and the beauty, actually. So Dr. Green is an institution builder, and as an institution builder, she has helped to sustain a way of getting the word out about the beauty and complexity of the Black experience through our literature.
All of these writers should be a natural part of our curriculum. It should be a natural part of American literature and Western literature, but it's not. And it's brought in pieces, it's a drop-in. And so my goal as someone who is organizing conferences and someone who teaches literature and someone who realizes the importance of seeing yourself reflected in the books that you read, I wanted to bring all of that together.
I think that Dr. Green has done a wonderful job with the center because she operates in the tradition of John Oliver Killens. Killens was always talked about being a long distance runner. So when we look at the amount of years that Dr. Green has contributed to the center, she is also a long distance runner. And so I'm very happy the fact that Killens was able to inspire someone like her and complete the task that you see her doing today.
I went through the public school system in New York City, and I didn't read any Black writers until I got to college. And that was in the midst of the Black arts movement, the Black Power movement. I took an African American literature course, but it's amazing to go throughout the entire school system and not read any Black writers.
The writer writes and describes the human experience so that you, the reader, gets it. So when you read, you expand. You get to see how something you read can apply to your life. Oh my God, I read about that somewhere in a book. I'm not talking about fiction. I'm talking about nonfiction. I'm talking about everything that's out there. It's out there for you to get.
Well, the Center for Black Literature is critical because if you do not know who you are, anybody can name you, and they will. And what the center does in all of its programming, it tells us our name. It gives us background. Fundamentally, it defines us.
I'm very excited about being 20 years old. I'm very excited about the work we've accomplished, and I know that it can be expanded in so many ways. I'm concerned about legacy and succession and making sure that there are people in place who will carry forth its mission and who are committed to making certain that Black writers continue to be supported, that we expand what is happening in our school. And I know that it will come.
The world is everything you need. And the idea of giving to a center that has it all in one place, how could you not participate? How could you not uplift that? Especially with someone who cares about the center as much as Dr. Brenda Green. She's given her life to this. She's a professor. I'm not a professor, I'm a businesswoman. But I saw that it was important for me to use my resources to uplift this cause, because it's my cause too. And it's your cause too. We're all in this together. We're human beings. And always the question that comes to mind is, what does it mean to be human? This is one of the meanings. It means to be human.
I'm not surprised that this center has lived so long and continue to live. But like all of our centers, most certainly in Black institutions, she has to fight day and night for funding and to be recognized even often that they own this in this institution which she's involved in. The major reason she does this, and most certainly the major reason I do this, is that we love Black people.
So we need a center like the Center for Black Literature to offer counter narrative, to bring our writers forward, to celebrate them, and so that we can offer these books that are being kept from our children, and to offer this literature that is powerful, that is lasting, and that is growing through the next generation of wonderful writers that are coming up.
Institutions are important because they're bigger than any one author. They're bigger than any one reader. And they help, to the extent that they can, they help sustain over generation, right? It is very hard to sustain institutions and centers that celebrate and that put forth African-American writing. And to do so is a tremendous accomplishment, and one that we ought to celebrate, and one that we ought to support, and make sure that we can go forward into the future as strong as we have in the last several years.